with all stakeholders really mean that you need to be able to, look at the technology and the role that you have to play to satisfy that customer. You also have to look at the short and long term goals of the job or the role that has been given to you. So if you need to sharpen some of the skills, just like Molly mentioned earlier, you need to be able to, go back and understand some social skills, some technical skills that will enable you to sit down, that will help you to settle down easily in your new role. So that culture shock is normal. That culture shock is actually real. You can experience it you can experience it in any other areas of your life apart from career. So moving from one career to another, you need to adapt. What will help you most of the time is your communication skills. So you and I, you need to look at that skill and sharpen it. When you're talking of verbal skills, verbal communication skills, your written, your presentation skills, you need to be able to adapt easily with all of these skills. So it is important for you to know as you are jumping into that other career, learn what will help you to be successful on that role. So really, we have a lot of these skills, but for me, I will always go with that adaptability skill, and your communication skill being the bedrock to satisfy all your stakeholders. So it is normal to experience culture shock, but what you have to tell yourself is that you believe in yourself. So I don't know if that answers you, but I believe other people can also help to address that. Thank you. Is anyone there? Yes, I can, but you are sounding far away. You are a bit.
Hello, Mr. Raymond. Can we have your, your.
Okay, so if no one is speaking, I think I need to also add that you need to also focus on what you can control in a new career. You have to be able to, probably get a fresh perspective from other people who are already experienced in that, in that role earlier, so that you can. But most importantly, I think getting a career coach and mentor can also help you to overcome the career shock and just accept the change that you found yourself in a new culture or in a new environment. Then I believe you can you'll be successful in the long run.
Thank yeah, Tunde, are you still there? Raymond is also missing from the screen.
Exactly, is
Is you
handling the
pardon?
handling this roundtable.
But did
Okay,
anybody
Raymond,
hear what
right?
I said?
Yes, yes, yes. It was clear. What you chipped in was clear. Thank you. Tunde, are you there?
Continue, please.
Okay, I think Raymond is coming back.
Raymond, if you are speaking, we can't hear you. Can you unmute, please?
Okay. Since Raymond is, I'm not sure. Raymond is having uh
Technical issue, I
the
think.
right network there. He might have network issues. For him to have mentioned earlier that he wasn't really hearing the other speaker might be a challenge for him. So, Tunde and Yetunde, what's on the agenda? Should we go to the next agenda so that we don't keep people waiting? Yetunde and Tunde, are you there? Okay. Whilst we're waiting for Raymond, I'm not sure we have some questions to ask for those participants. If you have your questions that you have been having challenges with for some time, you can actually chip in these questions, and the ones that are online right now can actually do justice to it. So we'll welcome questions, and we'll be able to answer them while we're waiting for Raymond also. You can raise up your hand if you have any question among the participants. You can just raise up your hand and we'll be able to take up the questions.
I had no sound whatsoever for the last speaker.
Okay, Raymond, welcome. We've been waiting for you for some time. I think we thought probably your network was not okay, but since we can hear your voice now, I think you have the floor now.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks once again, Babatunde, for the invitation. I don't know, am I able to share screen, or is that possible? Okay, if not a problem. I will post later on the presentation on the Telegram chat group. Really, for me, this thing about getting jobs, to change the nature of your experiences, you need to first change the nature of your thoughts. So to get the jobs that you want, it's really 100% up to you, because regardless of whether or not you are successful in your interviews, everything is a learning experience. So really, at the end of the day, the only thing standing between you and success is air and opportunity. I've wanted to be an actor since I was quite young. Actually, I wonder if I can do this. Does this work? I'm not sure if it shares the screen. I don't know if you can see that. But really, it all comes from a desire, a passion, following your purpose. More than anything else in the world, if you can follow your passion, if you can find what you're passionate about, therein you'll find your greatest skills and your greatest talents. So really, what you seek at the end of the Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. So really, what do you want? The why is your key. If you want more money, if you want more status, if you want more opportunities, without a why or a purpose, no matter how much of these you have, you will always feel empty. So your life will only feel right and like it has meaning if you follow the path which leads you to expressing your natural gifts and your talents that are already inside you. The most important job you will ever have is to define what your gift is and share it with the world. What the lady speaker was saying earlier, the 2-second or 3-second rule, is very, 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 very important. I would never have met my wife if I didn't live by that 3-second rule. When you walk in the room and I saw her, and we smiled and we walked up to each other and started talking. All right, that was 15 years ago. So that 3-second rule is valuable. Look, you really need to build your best self to start to be able to build a better world. So association is key. I'm associated with a group called Wealth Builders Worldwide. Now, with regards to making money, your money should always be working harder than you do. So your money is a tool that you use to help you fulfill your purpose. Your purpose is not to chase money. All right, the 3 biggest mistakes and the 3 biggest secrets, well, the top 3 mistakes people make in interviews and the top 3 things you absolutely must do to get the job you want. Well, I'll touch on that a little bit afterwards, but those are the 3 things I really want to quickly touch on. What do you want? Right, you need to define this, write it down. And it's all about the power of your uniqueness. The world needs your unique gift or talent, whatever that might be. And your purpose is to deliver this to the world. Your skills and talents must be driven by your purpose. All right, otherwise, you know, life has no purpose. If you honor your purpose, the universe has no option to help you to succeed. And the seed of your best self requires pressure and development of the roots, your roots, to grow a strong foundation way, way, way before you can flourish and provide fruits for the world. So the key with getting out into the job market is always begin with the end in mind. Preparation for your interview, for example, begins and ends with you. All right, your goal needs to be matching your uniqueness to the needs of the position being offered. What do they seek when you walk into the room? This is like us, when we go for castings for films. We have an idea of what they're looking for with the character. What are they looking for? In the first 3 seconds, people always make several assumptions based about you just on what they see. So building your character by reading and associating with leaders in the field it's essential. So this group that I'm a part of, this organization, Wealth Builders Worldwide, their mission is to provide individuals worldwide with the tools required to enhance their lives, achieve their dreams, and build massive wealth. We're salespeople, and we're a sales team, but we don't sell products, goods, or services. We're really about selling people on the infinite possibilities of their lives and the power of their dreams. The dream is the why. We sell people on never giving up, and what we do, we know, is a very, very noble cause. Look, we're associated with more than 40,000 entrepreneurs, 6, 7, 8, 9-figure earners, because you are who you associate with. The nature of your thoughts determines the nature of your experiences. So I haven't got a lot of time here, but like the 3 biggest mistakes and the 3 biggest secrets that why you lose when you could be winning, really the secret to getting the job that you want are these 3 things. First, you have to know that it's not about you. Secondly, it's about a lot of people that zero rapport, and also bad positioning. I mean, these are the 3 main problems people have. What do you bring to the table? Interviewers do not care about you. There are no bleeding hearts. They care about what you can offer them to help them achieve their company's purpose. So it's about what you can bring to the table. The second biggest mistake is people don't have rapport. When you walk into a room, they already know you from your CV. That's why you have an interview. You can use what we call rapport, or FORM, which is an acronym for using family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. Okay, if you touch on these 4 things, that will help you develop rapport. They want to know who they're going to be hiring. So what don't they know about you? Trust and confidence. They know what you can do. That's why you have an interview. but they have a problem and you might be the solution that they're looking for. This is what your interview is about. They need to know that when you have fulfilled the position that they're offering you, you will take action to solve their problem with the information they give you, and that they can communicate with you with trust and confidence. So, who are they going to be hiring? They already know you. They want to know what you can do. So that's why you have an interview. If you don't have exactly the skill set or experience they're seeking, trust and confidence is more valuable to them, because you can always learn the skills to fulfill these tasks. So if you can just give them an example of something similar that you know, or a time when you had to onboard new information and you did so quickly and successfully, this is what they want to hear. This is what people want to know. Third mistake, bad positioning. Look, you have to choose. Are you going to be an eagle or are you going to be a turkey? You already are exactly who they need to solve a problem, so they are not going to do you a favor. You're assuring them you are the best fit for the team to solve problems. So confidence is key, all right? So the 3 key secrets, as we move on to other digital spaces, our cultural connections, our humanness, our communication skills are going to become priceless. This is why reading is so important. Association. First key secret is know that you're already qualified. If you're sitting in an interview, they've already seen your CV. So ask questions. Find out what's important to your employer or the company. Make it a conversation and make them feel comfortable. Speak to their mission. This is the second secret, not yours. It's not about you. They need to know you are changing and growing all the time, and you are looking for a great place to contribute, to be a student of, and to continue to grow. This is very, very key. Don't put yourself in bad situations. The third key secret is you need to stand out. Your goal is for them to make you an offer. They're looking for you. They want you. So be vulnerable and human, but most importantly, you need to be authentic. And if you do this, you're going to make yourself memorable. So that's pretty much it. I'd like to invite everybody along. We have a corporate event where we're currently developing blockchain systems, both over Lydian World blockchain and G999 main.net blockchain. So we have a corporate event coming up on Monday. So if you're looking to associate or get to know a little bit more about this success attitude, to develop your confidence, develop your association, this would be a good place to start. Either that or plug into Wealth Builders Worldwide. It's an organization, you can find it online. But by all means, feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to help wherever I can. That's it for me. Thank you. I hope I was clear enough.
That was awesome, Raymond. This is Engineer Bamidele. That was nice. And I think I love the analogy of the eagle and the turkey that you raised. That is a big deal for me, comparing the two together. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Can I add something to that? If you throw a turkey continuously up into the air, telling it you're an eagle, throwing it up into the air again, you're an eagle, and throwing it up into the air again, telling it it's an eagle, the only thing that will definitely happen is that turkey will shit on you. So turkeys are turkeys and eagles are eagles, okay? So to become an eagle, you need to fill yourself with the good stuff. We are constantly, all of us, changing, and the best way to change, books, I swear, are your secret superpower. So go forth. Big loves.
Yetunde and Tunde, are you still there? Yetunde and Tunde, are you still there? Okay. I was hoping we could start the roundtable session whilst we're waiting for Yetunde and Tunde to break in. So I think at this point in time, I would just love us to have question and answers. For those that have question and answers, if you want to ask any question, just raise up your hand. If you're having challenges with raising up your hand, just type it on the chat box of the Telegram Messenger page. I know a lot of us are still not really groovy and also used to
Babatunde,
video
I think you're
calls.
muted.
Okay, is he trying to talk? Okay, so for those that are not used to video chats on Telegram Messenger, just type it in the chat box and we'll be able to take it up from there.
Hello, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I've been trying to say it is Alice speaking, not Yetunde. It is Alice that is moderating.
It is Alice that is moderating. Okay. Alice. Sorry. I know. I actually wanted I was thinking probably Yetunde was anchoring the session, but it's okay. So Alice, I'll leave it
Apologies,
on to
Alice.
you to
The sound has been cutting off.
All right, if I can see Overcomer Baba Lobby, so I've given you the mic to ask your question. You can go ahead if you can hear me.
Alice, were you actually talking to me? Hello, Alice. Hello, Alice. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, you said something. I didn't get that last statement you mentioned. You said.
I hear you now.
Hello, Alice. Your voice is at the distance. It's as if your mouthpiece is far from your mouth. It's better now.
I said some people raise their hands and already give them the mic. If there's any other person that would like to speak, Baba Labi already raised his hand. If there's anyone who would like to ask questions, it would signify so I can give you the mic to speak. Okay, I think there are no questions, so we can move right ahead, right? Is Raymond still on?
I'm still here, Alice.
Raymond, can you hear Alice? Temitope, can you hear Alice?
I don't think we can hear.
I can't hear Alice at all. If she's speaking, we hear her.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear Raymond, but I can't hear Alice. Okay. I have some questions here. I think I'll be taking up one after the other. on these questions. And these questions are the challenges that I've actually highlighted as main challenges for prospective employees. And there are about 7 of them, especially for some of the youths we have that are just graduating from the university. We have a lot of courses that people study in the university, and even those that did not go to university that actually want to go into entrepreneurship, there are some challenges that they have. And I would love to throw this question starting from Professor. The questions: what jobs are in demand in the international scene? I would love to ask Professor this question, because we have a lot of challenges, and for instance, Nigerians or Africans, they have the challenges of knowing the right set of jobs to go into based on their demand. So, Prof, do you have any answer to this, the jobs and demand internationally? Is Moli still there? Okay. If Moli is not there, probably I'll throw the question to Temitope then. Okay, Moli is there.
Yes. Yes. Tell me, what was the question? You were asking about the international job market, right?
Yes, the jobs in demand internationally for prospective employees that actually want to work in the diaspora, because it's like a myth. People these days think that it's not possible to get jobs outside your country. And we've had testimonies on Getjobs of participants actually getting jobs outside the country. But most of participants do not have that knowledge. So what should they do?
Well, there are lots of job opportunities here in Kuwait. At the moment, I see a lot of Nigerians in this country, in Kuwait. Mostly they are into the service industry, hotel management, front desk service related jobs. So some of them are into IT as well. So I have met recently some people in one of the conferences, and they were all in the service industry, where they take up jobs in the hotel industry. Management positions are very less. I didn't see many Nigerians in the management positions here. But what I really like about these Nigerian people that I met here is they are all very prepared in terms of communication skills, in terms of the attitude towards how they are working and living here, and in terms of flexibility. I mean, they are ready to take up any job and run with it, and that's one of the qualities that we are looking for in people, whoever they might be, from whichever country they might be. So these 3 qualities, like flexibility and ready to take up any job and run with it, and then the communication skills. This is what I really liked in people from your community, and this is what Kuwait needs as well. So apply, and get in touch with the Nigerians that are working already here. They might know the inside secrets of the companies here, who they are hiring, and all of it. There are lots of women as well here. I've seen couple, not many, some women, but they're all not in front end jobs. They are back end jobs people, where they are helping others from the background. So this is what I've seen here. So definitely there are jobs. Let people apply, and you should be the determination is what matters. You want to make it, you be determined to at least send 100 resumes every day. 100 resumes every day will land you at least with 10 opportunities, and out of which maybe you will land 1. So that's the way you go about it. You cannot be just applying to one position and then wait for 2 months. It is 100 applications, no matter wherever in the world, and then you will land at least one. That's how it should be done. Thank you.
Awesome. The part that you said 100 resumes, it actually reminds me of some of our participants and some of our members. There was a testimony shared on our group not quite long. The guy said he had applied for 200 jobs. 200 jobs, and he finally succeeded in one, and that was it was awesome. But the problem that we have, and some of our members are saying, is this. Now, you mentioned that those that are interested in international jobs, they can actually contact their colleagues in other countries and other climes to get the information on how to get those jobs. But still, I could have said, okay, let us spoon feed them by telling them what is the first step to do, but I wouldn't want us to do that. But if you can just give a practical insight for especially the young ones that do not have any clue. There are some of them that don't have any single clue of how to go about it. In their mind, it's just like a mirage. So what is the practical step they can take, especially for somebody that has no idea of how to start up?
Is that to me?
Yes, Moli.
Okay. Yes. First place to look for is LinkedIn. LinkedIn gives you an idea of where they are working, which country they are working, and that way you can get connected to people. LinkedIn is one way to do it. I wouldn't say that's the only way. LinkedIn is one way to do it. Get associated with all these wonderful groups that you are running, because you're running a wonderful organization, Getjobs, Nigeria.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is one of the way people should be members of you, and you should be doing a good job resourcing where these jobs are, so that people can directly apply to these places. So I would say LinkedIn, and then getting associated with local job bodies, like how you people are running Getjobs.com. Yeah, that would be the first step.
Thank you. It's actually getjobs.ng. That's our website, getjobs.ng. Yes. Thank you. Now I'm actually going to Temitope now. Temitope, there's this notion, especially in the local parlance, that a lot of people do not go for the courses they actually studied in school. They don't practice it. I've seen law professionals studying, actually practicing HR. I've seen engineers working in banks. I've seen psychologists working as engineers. There's nothing I've not seen as per career development. And that takes me to this quote, which I stumbled on recently. It says, do not make your profession your passion. Instead, make your passion your profession. So, Temitope, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, thank you very much. And I like the way the discussion is going. So it is not new, it is not strange to see people having studied a particular course in the university, and by the time reality dawn, you realize that, time is passing by and opportunities are not coming your way. So oftentimes you just see people going for just anything whatsoever, just to put body and soul together. But what I like to, say in this regard is the fact that whatever you stumble, at, you do it very well. I happened to notice that a colleague of mine, or a classmate of mine back in the university, we all studied agri-economics and extension together. And now she's into pharmacists. I mean, she's in the UK now, and she is a registered pharmacist. And what does that tell you? So there's one thing for you to have passion. There's another thing for you to, have the determination. I think Prof mentioned that earlier. Determination is important. What do you really want as an individual? I didn't study HR. I practice HR today. I'm a recruiter today. I never went to the university to study all of this. But what did I do the moment I discovered that I have a passion into teaching, into coaching people, into impacting knowledge? I took up a master's in HR and I started developing myself in other skills. So look, it can only be a mirage in this environment that we find ourselves, that you end up, you study electronics engineering and you are practicing. Oftentimes you see engineers, even in social sciences now, you see them, thriving in the profession that they stumble at. So really, for me, I don't want to say that it's misleading or it's not the way to go. What is important is when you find yourself in a new and a different environment completely, what do you do with it? And Prof mentioned earlier that what do you do, before an opportunity presents itself? What do you do? So we have skills that you have to build up now, today. Whatever you have studied in 2022, because the future is actually fintech. The future, everything is evolving. So you cannot just sit with what you have studied in the university or wherever today. You have to build extra skills. And these are the social skills that organizations in this period are looking for. So you cannot claim that you studied marketing in school and you just want to start looking for a marketing job. What extra skill do you have? When Moli was talking about the jobs that you can land internationally today, a lot of things came to mind. What are you doing in terms of artificial intelligence? What extra skill are you trying to bring up when it comes to AI? When it comes to cloud engineering, are you showing interest in it? Can you use Canva? There are a lot of skills that you have to bring to the table today. It is not about the knowledge that you are bringing from the higher institution. It is what value you really want to solve. The problem, there's always a problem in an organization, and that is why you are being employed, to solve problem. So it is not about going back to your first degree or your second degree. It's the solution that you are bringing to the table for an employer, and that is what you have to build today. In 2022, it is beyond what you have studied. So when you land such job, what you have to do is to be determined that you give your 101% to this job and be extraordinary. Whatever you find your hand doing at that moment, if you have studied marketing in school and you are all of a sudden finding yourself in HR today, come on, what is happening in the world of HR? Go back to the internet, which is our friend today, and search the skills that you need to thrive in HR. If you studied HR back at school and you are landing a marketing job today, are you saying to yourself that you will not thrive in it? You have to give your 101%. Go back, search the web, and sit for certifications that can help you be outstanding in that role. It's in the past that you have to sit with what you have studied. Look, I have friends. I'm HR. I did not study engineering, but I found myself in an engineering environment. I recruit technical roles today, and I have to speak the technical jargons. Pardon me. Because it is the environment I have found myself. I recruit a lot of ordinary national diplomas, and I have to understand their role. So this is far away from what I studied back at school. So it is how well you have to give back to what you have been, assigned to do. So you can grumble and say, oh, it is because it's the situation of the country that has made me to abandon what I studied back at school, and now I am doing a customer service job. I have seen people who have really succeeded starting a role in customer service or customer management. I've seen a lot of people who did not even go that line, who did not study all of that at all. But look, you have to develop yourself on the job. You have to build, you have to practice what I call self-development. What extra are you bringing to it? I can go on and on, really. But look, it is not an excuse not to be able to make a difference wherever you will find ourselves today, because that is the way the world is going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Temitope.
Excuse me, can I add to that? So your question was, people educated as engineers are now found doing other jobs. Now, I was talking to one of a recruiter the other day, and I found in their job role lots of engineers for a HR position. And I was thinking, why did you take engineers in those HR positions? And you know what he said was, well, to become an engineer, it takes a lot of material. They have skills, and these are the skills that we are looking for in this HR job. That's what he said. So job skill and study skills matter, and you can fit that into any job that they are looking for. The other thing that I would advise all the youth that are spending time on social media, please join Coursera, Coursera.com. You can learn all certification. You can get certification from MIT, Stanford. So if you're looking for a particular area, that is the place to go and spend your time learning certain skills. And these beautiful universities are offering you free of courses. So I would say these youngsters, instead of wasting time on social media, let them go do a course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As you were talking, I see that there's this aspect I think we didn't hit on. Thank you very much, Temitope, for that concise explanation. However, we've had some challenges lately from my own experience, and this challenge has to do with the connection between the employer and the employee. Now, we have been saying that, okay, if we actually want to switch to this particular role, if we want to connect to international jobs, this is how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to do it. But today, the advent of social media has actually affected a lot of things. Now, because you are not seeing the person you are trying to connect with, and you're connecting with the person on social media or through LinkedIn, the way you're engaging that person is different from the way you will engage the person if you see the person one-on-one. And sometimes there's a lot of rigidity, there's a lot of disrespect, there's a lot of attitudinal issues. So how best do you think a potential employee should engage the potential employer? And also in terms of the CVs, because you mentioned, Moli, that you should be sending at least 100 CVs every day. What if those CVs are like chicken stepping on the sand? Because I've seen a lot of CVs just like that. Sometimes I see CVs and I wonder, is this person actually a graduate or not? So it's a two hydra-headed question. So I'll throw that question to Temitope, then I'm now going to link it up with the statement Raymond mentioned earlier, that we should not be eagles, we should not be turkeys, but we should be eagles. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to be clear on the question. So if you're saying that, okay, now you employers or potential employers engage candidates virtually now, so what is the expectation from the employer? Is that what the question says?
Partly. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Now, for instance, someone that I have never met before in my life is trying to engage me on maybe mentorship, and the first thing I see is IT. You know, there's a slang, IT. Instead of saying good afternoon or hello, hello sir, hello doc, hello, you know, the person is trying to funkify the chat. You understand? So me, that I'm so busy, I'm a professional, I'm seeing somebody saying hi, how are you, and expecting me to respond. So what are the things expected from people that want engagement with professionals like you and Moli and Raymond? How are they expected to engage?
Okay.
That is one.
Okay.
Then also the other aspect is, in terms of CVs, how are they supposed to, what is the expectation in terms of CVs?
Okay, so two things, right? So I will start with the first one. How are young professionals or graduates, how are they expected to present themselves, when they're engaging um, an hiring manager or a recruiter, in any case. So for me, I think I can speak from my experience. I think it's, there's no straight answer to this. What I think is important is for the two parties to be flexible. What it means is that I, as a recruiter, I don't want to go too extreme, or how can I put it? I would not like to be too extreme or too rigid, when I'm discussing with a potential employee. Or basically, when you are engaging them virtually, what you should expect is more of this youthful. uh, you can actually be flexible to accommodate slangs and this new ways, or this trendy way of saying hello, hi, how you doing, and all of that. For us as Nestle, my organization, we are not too rigid to accommodate our youths, when we're engaging them virtually. What that means is that, the world has changed. COVID has changed virtually everything. So it is not too out of place to still accept some of these things, but you may not be lucky, in another environment, so you just have to, you want to play safe and remain professional, when you are meeting a potential employer virtually. So I would say, in just the way you would present yourself in a physical environment, meeting a recruiter, I think it's good to appear highly professional. Your hair neatly packed, your nails well done. I mean, looking good, and minding some language use and all. So, and of course, when you are going for a physical interview, you don't want to appear unprepared. So it's the same for a virtual interview. You have to arrive early. I I'm always happy when I'm logging into a virtual interview and I'm meeting my candidate waiting already, and I'm just admitting the person into the room. For me, it shows how ready the person is, how professional the person is, and it shows how serious the person is. So I don't want a candidate that will keep me waiting in a virtual room. And it's the same way that the respect I will expect that you give me, I will also give you the candidate. But as much as possible, please, our youths, our young graduates, our young professionals, avoid some unnecessary way of just taking the interview on serious. Don't chew gum when you are doing a virtual interview. Don't appear not ready. For employers as well, for recruiters, I think we also need to be flexible. I have interviewed someone who had a crying baby at the background, and I had to just pause the interview at that moment. And I said, look, your baby needs your attention this moment, and I think I can give you 10 minutes to attend to the baby and come back. Look, the world has changed. We don't have to be so rigid with all our policies or our procedures. Rather, we have to make it flexible. However, I would not advise that any candidate takes this for levity or just take it for fun. As much as possible, if you are given a 9 o'clock interview, please be there 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. It gives the employer or the recruiter a very good impression of you. It shows that you are really a business-minded person, and then you have all it takes, and all that. So the second part, I hope I have not, forgotten that part. I think I jotted it
CV.
Okay, excellent. So CV, there's no, CV writing is not a one-way street. Look, you can consult me for a CV writing, and it will get to Professor Moli, and Moli is telling you, please take out this, take out that. Meanwhile, Topper is also a professional, mind you. But what is important is for you to be clear, and please do not state what you are not in your CV. I think it's that simple. You shouldn't present what you are not in your CV, because your CV is what I'm meeting first before you. So I need to, first of all, get a clue of who you are through your CV. So if your CV can make it down to my shortlist, I'm looking forward to meeting the real person. So your CV has already introduced you ahead to me. So often, personally, I hardly ask, candidates their name, because already I have it on the CV that I have in front of me. However, Do not, again, I'm emphasizing that, do not put whatever you will not be able to defend in your CV. Look, you just told me that you are bilingual in your CV, and I came into an interview with you knowing very well that in your CV you said you are bilingual, that you can speak French. I will actually get a French-speaking interviewer alongside with me that can actually help me to talk to you in French before we even dive into the real interview. So you cannot tell me the moment I introduce a fellow French-speaking interviewer and you told me, my French-speaking is just basic. Hello, basic French-speaking shouldn't be on your CV that you are bilingual. So you are just at the basics. You are just learning the bonjour, and already you are claiming that you are bilingual. Please don't put that on your CV. I think it is simple. If you cannot explain your long-term goals and you already copied and pasted something from the internet and put it as your executive objective, I see a lot of that on CVs. I see executive summary or executive objective or personal objective, and you cannot explain the objective you have claimed on your CV. What you are is the summary of what you have. The beginning of your CV, you put it as personal objective, and I'm asking you in an interview, tell me your personal objective, and you cannot explain. You must have gone to the internet, copied and pasted in your CV, and just to have a beautiful CV. What is that? But again, if you are proficient in your MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, let us know the proficiency level. If you say you are advanced in Excel, even me, I will doff my hat for you that you have advanced skills in the use of Excel, and I will go and call an Excel guru to that interview that I have a candidate that claims to have an advanced skill in the use of Excel. And please, by the time I give you my laptop to use and I have a raw data for you, and I'm telling you to please process this data using VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, and you are telling me that, sorry, madam, I cannot use HLOOKUP. So why did you claim that you have advanced skill in MS Excel? No, we have to know what a CV is meant for. CV is not just for you to just put one or two things together and you are telling me, oh, is it there? Is it my CV? Oh, excuse me, it is your CV, and you are asking me, is that actually there? Of course it is there, I can see it. So never put what you cannot defend, whatever that will make you stupid in front of a recruiter, please take it out of your CV. It doesn't speak well, it doesn't make you look good in front of us oftentimes. So please, this is not a CV writing session, but I can go on and on what we don't like to see on CVs, really. Thank you.
Thank you. To an extent, I can see some of your strengths. So, because you were talking so passionately about the CV. So, thank you very much for those things that you have chipped in. I just like to say that for our participants, I observed that the settings did not allow them to speak. I've opened up the settings for everybody that wants to ask questions to chip in one or two things while I engage Raymond. So if you can actually speak now for the participants. I've enabled everybody to chip in one or two things. So if you're ready to speak, just raise up your hands and let us hear you. So this question goes to Raymond. Raymond, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, brother.
Thank you.
And thanks to Temitope. It's really, really interesting for me to hear these experts speak. I love being invited to these forums. It's educational for me as well. Always being in this. No, it's amazing. My 5 cents worth with regards to, first of all, I would like to say, start with I want to go back to reading a book. Go read more books. Read more books. Okay, technical books are really, really important, and this is what you need to be able to perform tasks. But reading is your superpower, and I would like to recommend The Richest Man in Babylon. Okay, it's a very basic book. It's easy to read. You can probably read it in a day or two. And so I'm going to throw that on the table first of all. I think it's George C. Clason, I think, is the author. Secondly, 7 key points before I get to the CV. You walk into an interview, and you establish rapport immediately. Okay, so you've got the 7 seconds to be able to come across as a pleasant, intelligent, feeling human being. Okay, eye contact, grab the person by the hand, give it a shake if it's acceptable. In times of COVID, I don't know anymore. But building rapport is key. If you don't have rapport, you can't get to the other 6 steps. And the ultimate step is obviously your goal is to have them offer you a position. So after you have rapport, you then need credibility. This taps into your CV. Your CV is basically these are the credits that you've built up with where your attention has been focused in your life to that point. And this is your bank statement of who you are intellectually and academically and as a person. So you have the best points on there. That's what people want to see, and that's what got you in front of the possible employer. So that's your credibility. So don't mess with your credibility. You can go and go, all right, so you can see you got street cred. What else you got, brother? All right, let's keep it real. So once you got that credibility on a piece of paper, you then need to establish trust. Okay, and trust is something that is really, really easy to, I want to say, not assimilate, but empathize, not empathize. You can feel it. Trust is something that we as humans, we're biochemical beings, and we can tell if somebody's not being straight with us. Some people are good at hiding. Like I'm an actor, so I mean, it's all about, we say we place our canoe on the emotional river, okay, and that's where we find the truth. So we use our script and we place that on our emotions, and that's what makes us believable, all right? But you got to have trust. So once you've got trust, then you're going to have the information. They're going to offer you the information that you need, that you can show them how to solve their problem. Once you can show them that there are ways that you could help them to a solution, which is the 7th point, you're guaranteed. Basically, you're guaranteed to get the job, because like you have established all the key points that are necessary for us as a human to connect credibly, trust, knowing that you've got all the information required and the tools that are needed to be able to deliver them a solution. And so basically their action is to give you the position or offer you the position. So I think I covered both those. Well, I hope I covered both those 2 questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. That was concise. There's something that just tickled my fancy, and it has to do with you being an actor. Now, in Nigeria, we have our unemployment rate as at early this year, it's about 33.3%. That's a massive unemployment rate. And I was actually comparing that of Nigeria to that of Argentina and that of Kuwait. And when I saw the one of Kuwait, I was actually shocked. Prof, I'm seeing that the unemployment rate in Kuwait is 2%. Am I correct?
Employment rate in Kuwait is 2%.
Unemployment, yes.
Unemployment is 2%. Yes, because
wow.
Probably the data shows only the nationals.
Yes.
I don't know whether the data shows the expatriate population.
Well, no, I didn't see that data. I only saw the general data.
Yes. Employability age, yes, because the government here has a policy to give a job to all their nationals. So as soon as they are done their education, they are registered with an organization and they make sure that these people get jobs. Yeah, so that's how it goes. This is a small country. We are not talking like in Nigeria, and the population is very less. So you cannot compare this with Nigeria.
And I'm seeing that of Argentina as at 2020. I'm seeing the unemployment rate in Argentina as at 11.67. Now, comparing these three countries together, Temitope would agree with me that there is massive unemployment in Nigeria. Not because I'm mentioning 33.3%, but because that is the reality, practical on ground. And the truth of the matter is that every year, thousands of people graduate from polytechnics, colleges of education, universities every year. But the true picture is that not everybody will be employed. So now that Raymond is an actor, which is basically like a passion entrepreneur, now what can Raymond advise for people that are graduates but want to go into their passion, especially the arts, because Nigeria is known for big stars and the big entrepreneurs that are making it. The richest man in Africa is from Nigeria. So how do you juxtapose this? You graduated, but you want to go into your passion. And since you're an actor and you're a successful actor, how would you advise people that are graduates, but they have challenges, so they want to delve into their passion? How do you advise them to start up?
Write it down.
Yes, true.
We're recording it.
Yeah, I know. Just that's, I mean, if I could say one thing, you grab a piece of paper. Actually, if you have a piece of paper next to you now and a pen, do it right now while I'm talking to you. Put a line down the middle, and you make 10 points, and write down the 10 things that you're passionate about, that interest you. Write it down. If you don't write it down, it's never going to happen. That's the first thing. I stepped away from my passion for about 10 years. I went on to stay. I didn't want to be a starving artist. So I was lucky enough, I was offered an apprenticeship. So I took an apprenticeship and I learned how to be a hairstylist. So I ended up being with the same woman for 9 years. I ended up being in the industry for 25 years. So I'm a master stylist as well. I'd around these successful people that are passionate. Do. So once I got my qualifications, then I'm off pursuing my passion. Because why? Because I had to set myself and the planet together at this time. Is that the so many different industries are changing, our systems are changing, everything's changing at a huge. It's probably easier now than ever before. I mean, if I was starting out now, I wouldn't necessarily have to look to another industry. Like, I mean, I love it because I'm using my hands and I'm with people all the time. So it's you're with people. You're not acting, but you're playing, which is acting. So I was still building my craft by getting to know people. But today, it's really, really different. I would say it's really important, tertiary education. If you can plug into something that you're passionate about, okay, do that, pursue that, get a degree, get a doctorate, all this sort of thing, because it's passion-based, it's purpose, be purposeful, all right? But the money thing isn't, I mean, most people go into it because we've been trained to think that we need to go into a profession in pursuit of money. Okay, that's the main reason. Well, I could be a dentist, or I could be a writer. Well, dentistry pays better. This is the thinking that the mindset, the culture, the money mindset that we need to change. So now more than it's easier than ever, because with blockchain, financial systems, using things like decentralized finance, it's easy to establish multiple streams of income that you can use just to get yourself slowly over time established. Now, when I talk about like cryptocurrency, the blockchain is not cryptocurrency and it's not trading. Okay, it's so much bigger than that. The blockchain technology is basically the internet on steroids. So if you're a young Nigerian that has a passion for acting, I would say that there are lots of, write it down first, and then just start to try some things. Fail as fast as you can. Produce something. Make it. You're going to choose the one thing on that list of 10 things that if you achieve that one thing, everything else is going to fall into place. And that's the thing that you hit on your list. And every day, every single day when you wake up, you're like, your goal is something that takes you a little micro step forward towards that one thing, completing that one goal. Because if you complete that, everything else will fall into place. Just go do it. Just make a decision. Just do something. Move your assets.
Wow. I'm also giving you a round of applause here, Master Stylist Raymond Lee. Okay, I see Temitope also clapping. Now, before we started this session, there were some people asking me questions, and actually made them join this session. I'm going to put them on the spot now. They don't know I'm going to put them on the spot, so we do not just have a discussion. We want it to be interactive. So I'm going to put Babalobi. Babalobi, you can actually talk now. Unmute your mic and talk. You wanted to ask me some questions. Babalobi is just a fresh copper. You're listening to me now, Babalobi. Can you hear me, Babalobi?
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Can you ask your question that you desperately wanted to me to explain? What are your challenges?
I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you.
What are the questions you wanted to ask?
Well, I wanted to ask as regards the current certification and NSC.
Okay, now, apart from the current and certification, what have you seen so far in terms of your careers and in terms of this discussion that we have had so far?
In terms of the discussion done so far, I got a part from what Moli said on the as regards the segregation. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. I know you are in a very noisy place, but we can still hear you. Okay, thank you, Babalobi. I see Babalobi is in transit. So I also have some other questions. I think we need to delve in also. For instance, we have different classes of people in terms of their energy levels. We have the extroverts and we have the introverts. Now, how do you, as a person, identify your personality and actually apply your personality to your passion, and also applying your passion to ensuring that your career path is actually tailored towards that particular passion? So I'm going to ask Professor to try and put some insight, because a lot of people engage me every day and they say that I studied this thing, I've been sitting down at home for a year, I'm still searching for a job, but I know that this particular person has this passion, probably has a passion for taking pictures. So how would you advise this person that is in crossroads about how to go for his or her own career, looking at that energy level which I mentioned, whether the person is a melancholic person, phlegmatic, the personality level?
Yes, very good question. I was just going through the participants in your group and I was looking at the pictures. So one thing that we all can start is with the picture that you post on social media. That gives you, whenever a recruiter is looking for a candidate, 50% of the evaluation is done by looking at their social media presence. the photograph, from the profile picture to what all websites, to what all group he's engaged. So a lot, I mean, at least in this part of the world, this is how it is done. Now, if I had to give my CV to somebody, they would already look me up on social media. They would already look me up on all the things that I've been engaged, and they will get an idea of who this person is. The 50% is already done, selected. The next 50% is done when they come into your office to go for a real interview, or to come on Zoom when they do a Zoom interview. So I would say, whatever you're engaged in, whatever you are passionate about, take it up seriously. Try to have a social media presence of it, so that your footprint is already there on social media. It is easy for people to look you up and get to who you are. And so if a person is telling that I have studied this and I haven't got a job, so getting engaged to get a job itself is a job. So what were you doing from your education until you are looking for a job? That time period, you should be engaged towards you getting that job. So what are you engaged in? What are the things that you are connected with? What are the groups that you are connected with? All that makes a big difference. So start with your profile picture. Start with engaging socially on social media platforms. Join the group. So when they look it up, when they Google you up, they already know who you are. So that would be the first place to start. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Temitope, how do you relate this? For instance, you are working in a multinational organization that I see that is in a lot of countries. Nestle is in a lot of countries, and I know that you will have encountered several of these personalities in interviews and in sessions. So, what have you experienced so far, and what is your advice in terms of personality traits?
Thank you very much. So the area of personality traits coming into bear in the workplace is something you cannot take away from individual. So as much as possible, you will see the blend of all personalities in a workplace, the phlegmatic, the melancholy, and what have you. You will see all of these things. But, when it comes to passion, like you mentioned the other time, someone might have gone to the university to study mechanical engineering, for instance, and all of a sudden is finding passion in photography. What do you do? How can you pursue that, as a career? So oftentimes what drives employees in the workplace is actually passion. Do you really love what you do, or you just do that just to put food on the table for your family and all that? So it's important for you to identify what drives you as an individual. What exactly do you really like to do? And oftentimes you see people, okay, because like you mentioned, I work with a multinational, and of course we preach diversity and inclusion, meaning that say for instance, a candidate walks up to me in an interview with, a guy wearing dreadlocks and probably with with an earring on him. That shouldn't even be a put off in the first instance, because right now globally we have come to terms with the fact that people are different in the workplace. So you look firstly into the content. What does the person have to deliver? What value is the person bringing to the table? More than the outlook, more than the physical, or more than the dressing of the person. So it's important for us to be able to be flexible, to accept different personalities in the workplace. What I would say that is important for an employee, or to a candidate, or a prospective employee rather, is not to try to be somebody else. Just be yourself. Let us know who you are right from the beginning, right from when we're engaging you for at the interview. Don't pretend to be what you are not. I saw a cartoon, or a joke rather, recently, of someone who on his CV says is a team player, and of course he was able to prove that, during an interview, citing examples of how he has been a team player in his previous experience. But the moment he got the job and his team members say, "Good morning, boss," not even a smile on his face, not even a response on his face. This is someone that was able to win the heart of of the recruiter, saying that, "Oh, I am friendly, I am jovial, I'm a team player," and all of that. But the moment he lands the job, I mean, he became a different person. So look, what you can only do in that place, in that instance, is to be flexible with your workplace policy to accommodate a lot of people, a lot of, I mean, diverse set of people in the workplace. So we also preach something in my organization. I mean, let there be a side gig that you can also choose, that something that you are interested in. So beyond beyond the career you are building, beyond the career path you have chosen, if you have something or an extra thing that you are actually interested in, the organization is, magnanimous enough to say, after work you can pursue that. So do what you love to do. I mean, chase after your dream, your passion, and all of that. And the moment you are known for who you are, who you really are, not a different person, of course, the workplace shouldn't be a rigid place not to accommodate different set of people. So whether you're a melancholy, whether you're a phlegmatic, whether you are I mean, all those other things, I mean, the workplace should be able to accommodate so many people, with their diverse personalities.
Wow, thank you so much. As you were talking about the diversity and inclusion, it actually struck me this acronym SWOT. I know we can relate it to the SWOT analysis, and even though people actually carry out SWOT analysis on themselves in order to actually move on in terms of their career path, you still see that there are some challenges that you do not have control over. For instance, there's one of the participants that is actually on this call right now. I actually sent her for an interview in an organization, and this organization is supposed to be a neutral organization, because we're talking of a fast food company. So a fast food company that is not really strict in terms of the kind of food that they share. They're supposed to be diversity and inclusion, but funny enough, they told her that because she's actually wearing hijab, that is going to they would not consider her because she's wearing hijab. So Raymond, despite the SWOT analysis, but she doesn't have control over that. So what do you advise? And I know a lot of people fall into this category of, they've done everything, they've read, they've prepared, they are good, but diversity and inclusion is not involved in their organization. What do you advise such person? And I'm sure, for instance, you're an actor. There are some scenes that you might have seen. You might have seen some scripts, and because of your own personal convictions, those scripts do not align with your personal convictions. So, just if you can juxtapose that into other fields of study, what would you advise such people that fall into that category?
My personal recommendation would be to walk away. It's a very, very big planet filled with billions and billions of people. There are lots and lots, even though we do tend to focus in on a particular thing that we're looking for, and sometimes it can seem like there are very, very few options available to us. Keep looking. I would say walk away, because what you're going to end up doing is truly and honestly, you have conflict. So wherever there's conflict, you're going to need eventual resolution. And probably, look, if you're a resolution focused person and you love resolving problems all the time, instead of actually doing what it is that you're passionate about, by all means do that. But I would say walk away. It's really important just to stay true to yourself. Yes, certainly as an actor, I'm a and horror genre. And it's like, oh my goodness, oh, here I am. I'm covered in blood. This is not who I am. This is not who I am. And it really affects me. It affects me greatly. I remember a couple of years back. It was such a to sort of come down and to sort of recalibrate myself and sort of get myself whole again, because like going into a role that's really like I find it it's hugely challenging, and that vulnerability is part of the attraction to it. But I also do understand fundamentally it's not good for me. So I am conflicted with this. I do understand what you're saying. I would say my first impulse would be to walk away. If I had the opportunity with choose more, some of the things at least that I have done. But yeah, integrity to yourself more than anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The last job fair that we held for Getjobs in January 15, we had over 1,000 participants that registered, and there was a particular topic which we didn't discuss in that job fair, and that particular topic, it's something that is not so we've not talked about it so much. Most times there's always pressure on the prospective employees to deliver. We tell them skills, you need to develop your skills. We'll tell them you need to know how to write the CVs. We'll tell them that you need to do this, you need to do that. However, it is also it still falls under the part of what you cannot control. Now, for instance, in Nigeria, I mentioned earlier, we have 33.3% unemployment rate. Now, there are a lot of factors that affect this. Now, we have the poverty level. There's a poverty index. We also have the issue of Boko Haram. We have the several issues that are likely to affect the girl child or the boy child mindset. For instance, few days ago, the governor of Lagos State, which is about the most populated black city in Africa right now, I might not be correct, but correct me if I'm wrong. The governor actually was on his way to an official meeting, and he actually saw two girls. They were carrying a bucket of pepper. One went to grind pepper, the other went to do something. And at 11 a.m., as at that time, they're supposed to be in school, but he saw them on the roadside. Now, on engaging these two girls, the governor actually asked, why are you carrying this at 11 a.m.? Are you not supposed to be in school? They said their parents can't afford the private school, so they had to drop out. So now, this now leads me to the mental health of people that are supposed to go for this career. Now, what will you advise a prospective employee that has mental stress issues? Now, we can categorize it under drugs. We can categorize it under environment. So this, we've not really talked about this in most career gatherings. So what would you advise? I would direct this question to Moli and Temitope.
Oh, thank you very much. So employees who have this mental stress issues, that's what you're asking, right?
Employees or prospective employees. Yes.
Prospective employees, what should they do if they have this issue, mental issue? This is what are you asking?
Yes.
Okay. That is where employability skills and employability checklist comes into place. For example, self-awareness, as I said before, self-awareness and self-management. In that comes how you emotionally react to situation, how you react to situations at workplace, and how are you preparing your not only skills but also mental faculty in order to for job seeking. When it comes to job seeking, stress itself is a big issue. The type of job is an issue, and the workplace environment is an issue. All these can lead to mental stress. No matter how good an education you had, what kind of family background you come from, the job seeking situation, once you're in the job and then facing the job and the people itself, is a mental stress for everybody. So that is where people like you, Getjobs.ng, will work on that faculty, how to get them ready for an employment. Looking for a job is a mental stress. So how do you deal with that mental stress? In the job, what are the things that they might get into? The critique of the people, the admonitions of the boss, the strictness of the environment, and all of that. That itself, you need to provide a course or a framework for these people to deal with it. This is where you people really need to empower your employees. This is what I would do. If I were to run an organization like this, I will give them, empower my employees with these kind of skill sets. So I think you have a very good job in hand in order to tackle this faculty. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. Tope.
Okay. So from my side, I would say mental health is something that most employers now are trying to pay attention to because of the impact on the business, basically. But I would like to start from mental health issues with young graduates or prospective employees, right? So like we all know, looking for a job is a job on its own, and if you don't really pay attention to your mental health, you can get discouraged, you can get demotivated, you can lose hope on yourself, and all of this would actually have negative effects on your job seeking. So many times you see, especially when you go on LinkedIn, you see, like people will say, even a 5-year-old celebrating PhD, celebrating the fact that he just earned an MBA, and you look at LinkedIn and you're like, you're supposed to be getting encouragement from this platform, and all of a sudden it's like you are just being intimidated and all that. All of these things, social media generally has affected mental health of people, especially young graduates and fresh graduates. So what I would recommend is close your ears, close your mind to any form of distraction. A lot of things will distract you. There will be a lot of, your friends would probably be ahead of you. So what do you want to do? So if all of these things are not attended to on time, it can lead, it can affect the health of an individual. It can damage the health of an individual. So we need to be able to, advise, our graduates or, fresh graduate looking for jobs to, take a break. Prof mentioned earlier that you can give yourself a target of sending out maybe 100 CVs in a week, and you want to be sure that at least 10 would call you for interview or whatever. But it will get to a time that you will be very, very, choked with some of these things. You'll be so engrossed that you are not also living a life, all because you are job seeking. So you need to be able to close, every form of distractions around you and remain focused. If this is not, if this is not done, it will damage your health further. And mental health issue is difficult because it doesn't have so much. The symptoms are not so so negative. You still see people smile around and they are still dealing with a whole lot of mental health. You see people who even share their burdens, but you never knew that they are actually dealing with a lot. They are depressed, but they are smiling. So if you don't take a break from social media, for instance, and from LinkedIn that can make you more intimidated, why don't you just take a break? Take a break from social media, but pay attention to your emails so that when a recruiter is inviting you for interview, you don't miss that because you are trying to take a break. I want you to, get me right in that regard. Take a break and don't lose focus, most importantly. And like I mentioned, please avoid any form of distraction, anything that can affect your mental health. Now, coming to employees in the workplace suffering mental health issues, there's a lot of things that can affect an employee, that can lead to mental health. There are issues in life. We all have personal things, challenges and all of that. But the workplace also contributes to mental health for employees. So when you communicate your resumption time is 8 to and closing time is 6 p.m. for instance, or 5 p.m. and you still keep an employee till 9 p.m. at work, or because you are trying to meet a target or prepare for a presentation, the employee is worn out and the person will still have to come back the following day. How productive can this person be actually in the real sense? If you look at it critically, what do you expect from someone who has spent 15 hours at work and coming back the following day? How much do you expect from such person? There's a lot, apart from excess hours, bullying at work has also contributed to a lot of mental health for employees in the workplace. You have, people who cannot walk up to their line managers or to their bosses to share their concerns or to present an idea, but because they're already afraid of the negativity they might most likely get from their boss, they keep things to themselves. They cannot even express themselves, even with their line manager. They get, they get easily intimidated, and there's a lot of things that this can actually affect in the workplace. At the end of the day, you are losing your team as a leader. You are losing your entire team. People cannot come up with fresh ideas that can actually help the team to boost, the morale of the rest of the team, or increase productivity. A lot of things that we can attribute to mental health in the workplace. A whole lot. I am including the fact that probably the person has some probably health issues that is dealing with, or probably a spouse at home or a child at home that is suffering from ill health, and the person is just coming to work on a regular basis to give his best, but is not still concentrating. What employers are advised to do of recent is to create a program that I have in my organization. We have a program called the Employee Assistance Program. Okay, so this is a platform where the employee can, contact the company's medical doctor to get medical advice on how best to manage mental issue. Some of these things are real. A lot of them are real. We have closest colleagues that are, suffering from one depression or the other, but you see them looking all beautiful, with makeup and all of that, but a lot is going down. A lot is going, they are struggling with a whole lot. They are struggling. So if employers can put a structure around helping employees, to deal with their mental health, it will go a long way. And at the end of the day, the employer is still the beneficiary of this program. You will end up getting, a workforce that is agile, a workforce that is, highly dedicated, a workforce that is highly committed, and of course, the result is yielding. So, mental health is something that is a topical issue that we can go on and on, discussing. But I hope I've been able to address this. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this. We've been having questions. I've been getting questions privately. And at this point, we have one of our latest job testifier. Her name is Zainab. Zainab Aderiwale. I hope I am correct with that. Zainab.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, Zainab, congratulations on your new job. We congratulate
Thank you
you.
very much, sir.
Okay. So Zainab, you have the floor, your question. And who do you want to direct your question to?
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate. To all the speakers, thank you so much for the wonderful lecture so far. It's really amazing. To be honest, I love the fact that we go deep on mental issue in the workplace. I must say, I have my question in my mind, but when Mrs. Temitope actually go deep in the mental, it really cool me down, and that it makes me feel that at least some human resources are looking into that, because I felt like some organization really need course on that aspect, to be honest, because most of these things are coming from them. That's why we have the society where youth are getting more weaker, and these things are coming from the human resources from organization. It look as if we are not practicing what is being taught. As a psychology student, we understand these mental issues that is very strong and could have negative effect on people than the other. It depends on how we can handle some issues. Mr. Bamidele asked about he believes Idris. I was the person that happens to but I did not get justice to the question very well. I felt like I need to talk about it more. I believe religion, belief is something personal and should not even affect the relationship at all. Talk less of being an issue in the workplace. What should be the most concern that the recruiter should be concerned about? It's what you can bring to the table. Not though as a worker you need to dress appropriately, but it should not be something attaching to a belief and trying to convince me on why I should do something. I know you really want me to work for you, but at the same time, some things are personal. We should learn to know some limits that we should go into. And those are things that could contribute to mental health too. Because I felt so bad, I felt so down. And this is not the first time I've been in that situation. There was a time I had some speaking engagements, even from the US. I was now wondering that this country, we wrote a lot. I applied for a master's degree program. We wrote a lot of letter on the diversity. So why is this kind of thing coming from such a country? And this happens in my country too. Recently to me, I felt so down and bad. Made that the money I used for the transfer fare that day, it was as if I don't know where the money comes from. And that kind of money to that workplace, and I've put in a lot of practice, and I knew that this is actually for me. Even the recruiter said, why am I looking for this kind of job? Because the interview and the CV speak more than it. Because I have prepared and everything, but it turned out to be something that it's really so annoying that could come up. They said that when I was going home, I passed my bus stop. I do not remember that was my bus because I was thinking about it. That's one of the things that could affect. Another one, a lot of jobs in my country will tell you, this is the robot 2-1, first class. Yesterday, I still talk about this on a group page. We know that first class students, they are amazing. 2-1s are amazing. 2 to everybody is amazing. And we know that, to be honest, to graduate with a first class, it takes a lot of dedication. Even if you cram, I always tell people, don't underestimate education, because we are in a country where education is not being appreciated. Does not mean that it is not a serious case. But let's learn to know that we should not make other people depressed because they graduated with 2-1. Bringing out 2-2, bringing a job out and including it that only 2-1 or first class can apply. So we are actually telling the 2-2 that once you graduate with 2-2, you're out of this world. You don't even have a choice. It took me 1 hour to convince someone who graduated with third class to apply for masters. It was like somebody told you that even me that I graduated with a first class, I've not gotten scholarship to study, to do my masters abroad. And we know that self-esteem and confidence is not common, especially among the youths. So it could affect a lot. It took me a lot to convince the person that I've seen a lot of people that have a third class and still get scholarship. It's just information that you need. It's not negative words. And these things are coming from human resource too. putting such job and adding that, it could affect them, make them feel so down. So we need to look into that too. Thank you.
Wow, that's pouring out your mind. I would just want Raymond to just chip in one or two things about what Zainab just mentioned, just to give her succor.
Yeah, it's a lot of information to process. Look, for one of the things, I don't know if this is going to help at all, but one of the pleasures I've had over the last 5-6 years with my tourism company is getting to know a style of business structure, which is a flat structure known as holacracy. And within this organization, we don't have a CEO. We asked our company CEO to stand down, and we signed a constitution. We formed a constitution for this new company. And so there's no, and this would be quite interesting, I guess, for Temitope as well, working within this huge multinational type organization, which is like super hierarchical, super structured. But this holacratic organization is quite interesting because it allows autonomy for people like the lady that was speaking, experts in their own field, to be able to get the work done. Basically, nothing stands in the way of getting the work done. And so, obviously, there are lots of opportunities for failure as well, but there's a lot of value in failure as well. So, the goal is always within our organization is, everybody just goes forward and fail as fast as you can. And whenever there's a conflict, well, we don't call them conflicts, we call them tensions between roles within the organization. There's a very, very rigid set of rules established for processing these tensions. So I encourage anybody that's listening on the call, look up holacracy and delve into that a little bit as well, because I see that there's huge opportunities as we're moving forward and restructuring and repurposing old businesses into this new era that we find ourselves in. There are opportunities within this style of, I want to say, governance, I guess, not just for business but also for countries and society as a whole. So I don't know if that helps at all. There's my 5-minute ramble.
Okay. Just for those who did not get the holacracy, it is spelled as HOLACRACY, because some people might not get that spelling. HOLACRACY. So, Prof, your thoughts?
First of all, let me congratulate Zainab for voicing what she wanted to say. Nigeria needs more such people. You don't have to be felt suppressed. You need to speak up. And Zainab, congratulations. You have taken the first step towards addressing mental issues. This is what we want. We don't have to suppress ourselves. We need to voice it out. And Getjobs is really providing you a very good platform for such people to voice out so that they can come up with programs to address it. That's a very good step, Zainab. I really congratulate you. So much, especially welcome. I really congratulate. I'm very big on women empowerment because I always felt that the other society who has a lot to offer but never recognized. They are always shunned into the corner, and it becomes a big struggle for women to come up out of the shell, to be helped and to show what they can give to the world. And the world needs people like you, Zainab, who can voice their opinion, stand up for what they are. I would suggest, you have to be focused on your job, what you're there for. That determination should not waver. The rest of the stuff that is happening around you comes in between, which can affect, but you make sure that your determination to either stay in the job or get out of the job. That you have to clearly define. If you want to stay in the job, then you shouldn't be paying attention to what is happening around you. If you want to get out of the job, then you must be already planning your next move and find a better place. So it's your choice. These days, young people, they look for choice, they look for autonomy, and they look for agency. And people like you have to find autonomy in what you want to do. So you need to plan. If you don't want in that job, you don't like the working environment, the toxic environment, you need to plan and move out. But if you want to stay in the job, then forget all the other peripherals that is affecting your job. Just concentrate on what you want to deliver. And that can help you with your mental issues. It shouldn't bother you. Because if your determination and your goal of what you want to achieve from the job is very clear, then whatever is happening around you will not bother you. I hope, Zainab, I hope the situation at your workplace changes, but at the same time, you are smart enough, you are empowered yourself, to deal with that situation. You prove that to other people that you can deal with that situation. Empower fellow beings who is really falling into that stuff, and that will be a great therapy sessions for you as well when you help somebody out.
Thank you very much, Ma. I really appreciate it. To be honest, I personally don't have issue with that. Once she told me that day, I told her that I'm sorry, I can't deal with it, and I left peacefully. And I still appreciate and honor their rules in their organization. Why they need to appreciate I left, but I'm only speaking for other people, because we are finding a society whereby the young people now see education as scam, now see working as scam, going into fraud, because the way we can control our self-esteem is different based on our foundation and a lot of things that contributes to it. But speaking for myself, I trust nobody could bring me down. I have built and could control myself to some extent that no one could bring me down. But just talking about other people that can not control it, so that if we are able to pass some information to some human resource and they stop it here, at least 1% out of it had reduced, and that human resource could stop it, it will reduce again. So from there will be some things that we can look into. Concerning educational qualification should not be an issue. Rather, they should say, okay, we bring in training. If you're just a fresh graduate and you have 2-2 or 2-1, okay, let's have a training for you for like 3 months. Then after the training, if you are capable, then you join the workplace. But if you're not capable, then we take you back. But qualification should not be anything. I can tell you 2-1, I don't have issue with that. But other people that have 2-2, I don't like the way they're bringing that. It really hurts me and makes me feel that, because we all have different issues. We have home issues that contribute to some people academics work. So the way they could handle it differ. So the employee should know how to handle such things. And I believe as an human resource, some schools in Nigeria does not have the course. What we study is psychology, accounting, then we use it. And I believe as a psychologist, we're trained a very deep things in mental health. Even accounting students, I can remember vividly, they came to psychology department to do psychology of learning, psychology of memory, psychology of mental health. In order to be able to deal with women, there's no sector that won't do psychology, because we are dealing with human beings. We must know how to handle their emotional status. So those are the things that we should put into work sector. It's just a thing that really pains me that I just want to talk about. So anytime I come across human resource, I make sure that I talk to them about this, so that it will reduce from them. At least few people could stop it and pass the information to others. Then we could save our society better. Thank you.
Great, Zainab. I have a tip for you. Zainab, you're very passionate about this. You should start something of your own so that you can empower others. Let this be a goal in life for you. Take small steps and empower fellow beings, and you can be a movement in yourself in Nigeria. You see, and then you can go to these offices and teach them how to do constructive criticism to their employees. That can be an area that you want to work on. So don't be just painful for these people. Act for it. So where can you start? Do something about it, research something about it, and join a force, join fellow beings, and start up something like that. I highly recommend people like you getting into such empowering positions.
Thank you very much. I will definitely look into that, and I promise to do better. Thank you very much.
Please do. Thank you very much, Zainab.
You're welcome, madam.
Wow, Zainab has taken over this session. So I don't know, maybe Temitope has something to chip in before we now start engaging, because we just have few more minutes. It's actually 6:22 p.m. Local time, so we'll just wait till just about 10 minutes that we end this session. So something from Temitope will ask participant questions.
Okay, Zainab, congrats again. Let me join Prof to wish you congratulations. And of course, I can see the passion as well. I think we can speak further on this topic maybe after this session. You can,
my pleasure,
check me out on LinkedIn, Temitope Oyadele, Oyadele. So two things that I want to take up with you. I like the fact that you are speaking up on the issue of mental health. It is very important. It's very, very key, and I appreciate you for that. And that is actually the very first step that we advise people to take when it comes to mental health. Don't keep it to yourself. If you are depressed or anything, or going through one thing or the other, speak up or speak out. And you're already speaking, and like Prof mentioned, you need to begin to probably, channel this and, begin to speak about this so that you can, be the voice of the depressed or whoever is going through mental health and all that. It is really important for such people to speak up. Speak up is actually the very first step to overcoming depression or mental health. Then another thing about HR or employers being, I don't want to say partial. No, it's not partiality. Focusing more on the first class, the 2-1, the 2-2, and, not recognizing the third classers and all of that. Look, the most important thing is for you to skill up. I don't know how best to say this. Before you graduate with a third class, you would have known in the journey of your studying, wherever you are studying, you would have, maybe your second year or third year, you would have known the likely grade or likely CGPA that you come out with. So if you are well positioned or you have good career advisors, it is then and then that you should begin, skilling up, or looking for some key skills that it can actually build up before graduation, so that this can actually accompany your final grade. So if at the end of the day somebody comes out with a third class, but eventually the person is able to probably have a full stack development certification from somewhere, that is a skill that is being that the whole world is looking for now. For instance, if you studied anything and you came out with third class, there are skills that you can actually build outside your course of study that can help you out there, that an employer can actually look over your third class or your pass rates and all that. So what I'm trying to say in essence is this: no employer, and I'm saying it openly, I will not see a first class that has taken his time to develop himself and I've also acquired some extra certifications and skills and can defend it at interview. What will make me go for a third class that has not added any other thing to his third class? Put yourself in my shoe as a recruiter. I want to look for a competent person, someone that is trainable, someone that is coachable to also develop and to also give training to, even though I want to hire you as a fresher. So because even if I'm hiring you as a professional, you still have to understand my culture. You still have to understand my environment. So I'm giving you skill. I'm giving you training, whether you're a professional or you're a fresh graduate. But you have to come with something, not just that third class. You're not coming in with that third class alone. That is my advice. Also skill up. Look for things that is also needed in the environment, in the workplace, and add it up to the third class. So you also have to probably be the mouthpiece of HR out there. That look, yes, you might have come out with third class, but please don't sit with that third class alone and approach and apply without something
Exactly.
in addition,
Exactly.
please.
Wow, thank you
Interesting.
so
Thank you
much.
so much, ma. I really appreciate you. Sorry, I just want to say little things to that. I'm sorry for taking the time. Ma, to be honest, skills is something that you can't even overlook it. Mm? And I believe that a student from your part one, even getting into an institution, you should know what you want to use your degree for and other skills you to contribute to it. What I'm just trying to say is that these skills is very important. Whether you have a first class or second class or third class, the skills, in fact, to me, I prefer the skills, what you can see, your productivity, than your certification. Because anything could contribute. Who told us that examination is the best way of testing students' ability and capability? Anything could happen in the examination hall now. Maybe you cheated to have the result, or maybe something happened. But that skills that you can do, that I can see, is what is very
Exactly.
important. But what I'm just saying is that including it in the job description, number one, even if I have the skills and I now see first class, it has disqualified me, I won't apply. So that's what I'm trying to. I wouldn't even want to apply because I feel like it's just a waste of time and energy. Because before you apply to some, even if you're applying to 100 jobs in a day, make sure that you're applying to the right thing and at the right place. Not that they are looking for, hey, you are submitting B and you are expecting results. No, you need to apply to and also make sure you are following that description. Then you can be
Exactly.
expecting two things at the
Exactly.
same time. Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, thank you so much. We have I think Oluwadamilari raised up his hand. Oluwadamilari, do you have a question?
No.
I saw. Okay. Also, I have a question from. Hold on, just a minute. Toyosi Abayomi, you have a question?
Yes, good evening, sir. I have a question, sir.
Okay, we can hear you
Yeah,
loud and clear.
don't let me say two questions, but actually it's two. The first question is when it comes to salary negotiation, this thing actually happens to me when I apply for another job, and then the HR and I we spoke on phone before he later granted me an opportunity for an interview. And while speaking, I told him that this is what I intend to collect. This is my pay. This is my worth. But unfortunately for me, because of the excitement and my eagerness to leave my previous job, I later got something which is lesser than what I was actually expecting. And for me, I have actually resigned. There is no going back for me again. So, and then the HR and I, we have already agreed that this is the particular pay. But on getting the offer letter, I discovered that it's something different. In such an area, I think it is, in my own opinion, I believe that it is something that HR people needs to work on. Not because of them to cut costs, because most of them are trying to cut costs for organization after you have agreed with an applicant. But along the line, they will now try as much as possible to now dive into something else that is not being palatable to applicants. So that's my own
That's the
area.
way
Then
of affecting empires.
second thing is an area whereby HND people. I have a BSc, but I always have an issue with HND people. Here in Nigeria, we have university that for the sake of Moli, I will need to explain this. In Nigeria, we have BSc holder and we have HND holder. HND holder are students that graduate from polytechnics. But for HND holder, they always have this bad mindset of applying because most of the time, most especially for graduate training jobs, they will specify that it is only meant for BSc holder, first degree. And this thing is trying to, I don't know how to put my words, but it's not being palatable to HND holder for them to apply for such a job. So in such an area, please, Mrs. Temitope, what can people in that category do? Thank you.
Okay, I believe this question is for our own Temitope.
Wow, I didn't get your name. Prince, I guess. Okay, Sean. Okay, all right. So first off, I don't know why you had to resign without you getting a proper offer letter stating your expectation clearly from your prospective employer. For me, I think there's a gap there, most likely a communication gap. Um, I think you made a blunder in that regard because you had a discussion with HR and HR aligned with your initial proposal that this is what you want to take home. However, when you received your offer letter, you saw something different, which is quite lower than what you expected. Meanwhile, you can't go back to your employer because you had resigned. I don't think that was good enough from your hand. However, my advice, if you don't see everything written black on white, written clearly, well documented, and both parties agreeing, you don't accept such offer when you know that it is totally different from what you agreed on. And please, for every other person listening, you don't resign from a job when you have not tied your employment offer with a prospective employer. You don't do such. So this is a big lesson for you, but please, as much as I don't want to be defensive of the HR, you shouldn't have also resigned, before getting an offer letter. For me, it's a big blunder. Don't let that happen next time. That is why when you receive an offer letter, it is good for you to consult maybe an HR expert or a comp and ben person that can help you interpret what you have in the offer, especially when it comes to tax deductions, the statutory deductions and all of that, so that you can know what will be computed for you as your net income. Okay, so it is important for you to negotiate net at interviews, oftentimes more than your gross, because your gross will be subjected to tax. And taxes will cover all statutory deductions, all pension, pay as you earn, all of that would come into your gross. So your take home is what you should have aligned or agreed with HR, saying emphatically that I want to take $400 or $400,000 home at the end of the month. This is my take home, and this is what we are agreeing to. Not that you would just assume that everything is okay when it has not been documented. So please, you need to see that everything is written black and white before you accept an offer. You don't resign from a job, whether you are going through bullying with your line manager, whether you are not happy with that job, whether the salary is not good. You don't resign without getting something, from the prospective employer before saying goodbye to those other previous employer. So please, let this just be like a learning point for everyone on this call, that you need to get, interpretation of your offer as much as possible before you accept. And for every structured employer, there will be a copy that you need to acknowledge that you are actually okay, you are accepting this offer, which you will sign, and you will put your date into it before your resumption. So this is really critical. It's a learning point, and I'm sure everybody is listening. Don't make such blunder next time. Oh, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it's possible that all the statutory deductions has been taken care of, and that is why they are presenting to you what is below your proposal. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I believe Prince has been answered extensively. So this is 6:36. I'll take one more question before we round up the session, so that we can allow our speakers to go do other things. So one more question from anybody, then we round up the session. Does anybody have any question?
Okay. Sorry, one more.
Okay.
I'm sorry, please. I just want to add a little things to what Mr. Toyosi, the question he asked, because I've seen a case like that. And the person to have to stop. Why the person said he has to stop? The reason was that the payments, every organization has a payroll system. For if you saw the tax, the payment was lower than it. So she felt cheated. She has to stop. And I also, this is what I tell her. I love the response of Mrs. Temitope. Thank you. I said, if you want to resign in an organization, you give them a notice of like, let me say 3 months, because of the other place that you are going to work, or because of the future. Because do you know that recruiter at times they go back to your foundation, even calling some company you have worked with without your knowledge. So it's what you do that we give them information, and you'll not be aware of it. But what I could say about that is that it's about to me a lot. Human resource asks that what is your payment expectation? But this is why I will say that you don't be forward to give your payment expectation, because it might be lower. If it's lower than their own normal payment for that role, they will accept it. Just tell them. This is why, because yesterday when I got my job, they also asked me that same question. But I insisted that every organization have their payroll system. I'm okay with your payroll system. So when they now mentioned it, I wasn't comfortable with it, but I could figure and get their normal payment. Then we now pick it from that place. And eventually she increased it for me. But I listened to her first. So just make sure that your own comes first. That was me. I thought, actually, just an opinion. That make sure that you convince them to just mention their own face and look at it if you are comfortable with it before, because it's an agreement. Before you're going through a contract, two bodies must agree to it. That's just my opinion. Thank you very much. I love this lecture and I appreciate it so much.
Okay. Before we round up the session, any last words from Raymond, Prof, and Temitope? Then we round up the session.
Please, hello, good evening, everybody.
Yes, good evening. Is this Prince? Do you want to ask a question or what?
Yes, I have a question,
sir. Before you ask your question, I need to take permission from Raymond, Prof, and Temitope. Can we go ahead with this question, or we'll take it later? Prof, should we take this question? Temitope, should we take this question?
Why not? If it is short and sweet, we can answer.
Okay. You can take up. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, my question is, when Ms. Temitope, when she was talking, so she talked about when the other brother, I've forgotten his name, Prince, when he was talking about a place that he resigned. So my question is now this. My question is now this. What about in an organization whereby when you enter into the organization, you are not given an appointment letter? And at the point before you enter, like where I work now, before I entered the organization, after bringing my my guarantors and every other thing, so I was told that they will give me an appointment letter. So immediately I resumed the work. The first week I didn't receive any appointment letter. So there was a time that the work is being frustrated, why I have to resign. That I wish I told them that I need to resign, which they asked me what I said. Since I have not been done properly, that there are some things that organizations used to have. This place is a big organization. Why are you guys scared to give your staff appointment letter? So after I got that, I said why they don't like giving their staff appointment letter is because they don't want them to use it to sue them. So I said that means if I want to go, I don't need to resign because I was not given an appointment letter. So at the run, some people started resigning. Why they have not even made the amendment letter? They have not made the amendment till now. So my question is now that in an organization like that you are not given an appointment letter for you to know what they only tell you is just your salary. the money that they are deducting, they didn't tell you. Your net salary, you don't know it. It's only your gross that you have been told. So in that kind of situation, what can someone do, sir? Ma, please, ma.
I think Ms. Temitope would be appropriate for you to answer this question because recruitment and appointment letters are totally different ball game in Kuwait and it wouldn't relate to him. So please go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, ma.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. And I'll make it quick. So please, Prince, I don't want to. I'm trying to choose my word carefully. So I still don't get it when people say they get an offer with an employer and there's nothing binding the two of you together. There's no offer letter, and you have and you have resumed. You are working, and even the work, you're already getting frustrated on the work. You have not, I mean, something is wrong. I mean, it is fundamentally wrong for you to even begin a job.
Please, I can't hear what you're saying, ma, please.
And can you hear me, someone? If anybody can hear me, please.
Yes, I can hear you. I've been hearing you.
Yes, we hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, so Prince, let me take it again. So I was saying that you started a job without an offer, and I said that it's something, I mean, the foundation is wrong. It's a fundamental issue that you have created for yourself. So what did you accept? Why did you start a job that you didn't see what would be your compensation, what would be your benefits, what would be your resumption time, what will be your probational period? These are the things that should go into your offer letter.
Ma, I don't know what is happening to the network.
I think it's your earpiece. That's because I can hear
you, Prince.
Every other person can hear. So just be patient. Let her finish. We'll send the recording later.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so like I was saying, every structured organization do things properly. You know, we even have one-man businesses that do things properly. It is proper for you to have an acceptance offer from an organization you are joining. Before you say I do to a contract, you must have an evidence that, yes, I am joining you for something. So it's a contract. I'm giving you this service, you are paying me for this, but you have given yourself ahead and you are not even saying what is going to be paid you back for the services you are rendering. For me, I see a lot of things wrong in that. So I really don't even know how to, because if I go on and on like this, we'll still stay the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes in this call addressing this particular issue. So really, we need to be mindful of some of these things. When you are interviewing with a company, please find yourself a career advisor that can help you in the journey of this interview, that can guide you properly. Don't because of the fact that you are desperate to just walk into an organization without an offer letter, and what you are getting from HR is a word of mouth that yes, we will give. There's nothing like that. You need to have your offer before you even begin, rendering a service. So that is really, really critical. You need to ensure that you have an evidence that yes, because from the scenario you painted earlier, you resigned from a previous job, without even accepting an offer. And it's a whole lot of the fact that you don't have maybe a career counselor, a career advisor that can help you navigate easily when it comes to, interviewing and, and accepting job offers. So it's important for everyone on this call to know the essence of a coach, a career mentor that can actually help you to take some career decisions. Some of these things have a lot to do with your human. I mean, you can get depressed in the long run because you cannot go back to a previous employer and here you are not finding satisfaction. So you are not finding, and it is important for you to even be happy about what you do. If at the end of the day you are not even happy with what you do, then mental health issues begin to set in, depression begin to set in. There's a whole lot we can attribute to this topic. But please, it's important for you to probably connect with the organizers, or we can connect with me again, so that we can probably do more of career counseling to help you in your future job experiences, please. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that extensive explanation. I believe Prince is actually enlightened more now. So just one last word from Raymond, one last word from Prof, and one last word from Temitope before we call it a day.
All right, let me go first. Getjobs, you are doing a wonderful job. I am sure now you know what is the next step that you have to do, and what are the problems your employment market is facing, the employees are facing, what things need to be done from the employer side as well. So more education for all those job seekers, what all areas you need to cover. Now I'm sure you must have taken down a list of things that you can do next for enlightening your participants. Great job, and I would thank the organization, and it was nice knowing you, Ms. Temitope and Mr. Raymond. It was lovely interacting with everybody. I hope this session was wonderful, was useful for everybody, and thank you once again for inviting us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So is Raymond still there?
Bamidele, thank you so much. Thank you, Prof. Moli, Diva, the indomitable Temitope. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to be able to spend time on the panel with you. To everybody else on the Getjobs, Nigeria, keep going. Make a decision.
Thank you so
Fail
much.
faster.
Thank you.
So much. Big loves from Buenos Aires.
Thank you. So, Temitope, your last words.
Okay, thank you very much, getjobs.ng. Thank you so much, my fellow discussants. I really appreciate everyone, and I had fun really, discussing these issues and providing insights to how we can, assist some of our young professionals and graduates. I believe you've taken away one or two things that can also help you, as you proceed. And I really want to wish everyone a very good year ahead, and a good success in your endeavors. So thank you very much. Nice meeting you, Prof. Nice meeting you, Raymond. And thank you, Bamidele, for a good anchor. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much. Definitely, we're going to be having sessions like this later in the future. Thank you so much. I'm going to be sharing the recorded video with everybody soonest. Thank you so much for everybody. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.